Now more than ever, keeping up with the world means keeping up with computer technology and software. The PC Video Collection is proud to present this video tutorial.
Hello and welcome to this video tutorial, Learning Word 97 Introduction. I'm David Cooper along with Julie Clemens.
Microsoft Word has become an essential tool in conducting daily business activities. Whether it's writing a business letter or printing a report, Microsoft Word has made the work environment much more productive and efficient.
However, the key to this efficiency is learning how to effectively use Microsoft Word. This tutorial will unlock the world of Word 97 and get you started in the right direction.
Chapter 1 demonstrates how to open Word and explain screen components. It also discusses the new Word tool, which is the Office Assistant.
Chapter 2 shows how to enter text, use the overtype mode, use the undo and repeat commands, and how to select text, and how to cut, copy, and move text.
Chapter 3 demonstrates how to apply and change font styles, how to use the underline and bold options, and how to use effects, such as strike-through and small caps. It also demonstrates how to create animated text.
Chapter 4 shows how to align text, set margins, insert page breaks and set line spacing options. It also shows how to use hard returns and insert the date and time into a document.
Chapter 5 demonstrates how to find and replace text, how to check for spelling and grammatical errors, and how to use the Thesaurus. It also shows how to use word count. Finally, Chapter 6 shows how to name a file and save it. It also shows how to use print preview and how to print a document.
We've made a default installation of Word 97. Since Word 97 runs in the Windows 95 environment, we assume that you are familiar with the fundamentals of Windows 95. If not, please refer to our Learning Windows 95 tutorials.
We have provided a learning disk with sample files that will be referred to throughout this tutorial and can only be used within the application. When we finish this tutorial, simply delete the Learn folder from the hard drive.
If you would like to try the following exercises with us, please install the learning disk files now using the following commands.
Place the learning disk in the proper drive. Ours is A. Click on the Start button and select Run from the menu. In the command line, enter a:\via-learn.exe and choose OK. Then choose the Install button and click OK to accept the default directory. A window appears showing the installation progress, and we choose OK at the successfully copied prompt. The VIA Graphics Learning folder now appears on the C drive, and we are returned to the Windows 95 desktop.
The Word 97 environment is a world of ease and functionality, containing tools used to perform all types of tasks. Let's go on a word exploration.
We'll open Word by clicking on the Start button, choosing Programs, then Microsoft Word. The splash screen and a blank document appears on the screen. At the top of the screen is the title bar, which contains the name of the current document. In this case, it is Document 1. Below the title bar is the menu bar, which contains the most commonly used Word commands. Clicking on any menu will activate it. Once a menu is activated, any command can be selected simply by pointing and clicking on it. Also notice that some commands contain 3 dots. This means a dialog box will appear on the screen when the command is selected. For instance, click on the Open command and its dialog box pops up on the screen. From here, the dialog box can be closed several ways. Clicking on the Close button in the upper right-hand corner of the dialog box will do the trick, or clicking on Cancel will close it. But the easiest way is by pressing the Escape key. Menus and commands can also be accessed by pressing various shortcut keystroke combinations. Learning these shortcut keystroke combinations can be a major time saver. Notice that each menu has an underlined letter. This is the shortcut letter for opening the menu. Press Alt plus F and the File menu opens. Notice that some of the commands also have underlined letters. Press P and the Print dialog box is displayed on the screen. Now close the dialog box by pressing the Escape key. You probably noticed other shortcut keystroke combinations following some of the commands. These can be used to access a command without having to open a menu. For instance, another way to access the Print command is to press Ctrl plus P. This illustration shows that Control shortcut keystrokes for opening commands are faster than using the menu. All it takes is a little memorization. Now go ahead and close the dialog box. Besides shortcut keystrokes, some of the commands contain a right arrow next to them. These arrows indicate additional commands. Open the File menu and notice that the Send To command has a right arrow next to it. Move the mouse to it and additional commands are shown on the screen. Now close the File menu by pressing Escape 3 times. Below the menu bar is the standard toolbar, which contains commands that are represented by icons. When the pointer is moved on an icon, a brief description of it is shown. This is called a screen tip. To access the command, simply click on the button and its dialog box pops up on the screen. Now close this box. Below the standard toolbar is the formatting toolbar. This bar contains commands for carrying out tasks such as changing text fonts or aligning text. This toolbar is extremely useful when editing a document. Depending on your current settings, a ruler may be located under the formatting toolbar. The ruler is used to perform tasks such as setting tabs or measuring. Below the ruler is the body of the document, and to the right and bottom are scroll bars. The vertical scroll bar is used to move up and down a document, while the horizontal scroll bar is used to move from side to side. The squares inside the scroll bars are used to move through a document even quicker. This function is especially useful when working with a document having 2 or more pages. The small buttons to the left of the horizontal scroll bar are used to change the view of the document. Below the horizontal scroll bar is the status bar. This shows information such as the current page number of the document and how many pages it has. An added feature to Word 97 is the Office Assistant, which is a cartoon character that gives users guidance and suggestions. It actually lets the user ask questions in their own words, then provides the guidance for carrying out the task.
The Office Assistant may already be on your screen, but it's not on ours. We did this to show how to start it.
To open the Office Assistant, click on the question mark on the formatting toolbar. This brings the Office Assistant up on screen. At this time, it can be asked a question about performing a Word task. We'll move on by clicking on the Close button. If we do not need help using Word, it may be a good idea to hide the Office Assistant so that we have more room on screen to view the displayed document. Do this by clicking on the Close button in the upper right corner of the box.
You may pause the tape now to practice on your computer.
Let's take a moment to review what this chapter has covered.
It explained the Word environment, including the title bar, the menu bar, the standard toolbar, the formatting toolbar, the ruler, and the status bar. It demonstrated how to access commands using shortcut keystroke combinations. It also demonstrated how to use scroll bars and menus. Last, we discussed the Office Assistant.
The days of using a standard typewriter are slowly becoming obsolete in the workplace. In fact, most companies expect you to have some type of word processing skills.
With Word, text can easily be entered, deleted, copied, and moved. All it takes to perform these tasks is a little patience and practice.
During this chapter, we'll apply some of these basic tasks to a business letter we have already created.
Let's open the Test 1 file. We'll choose Open from the File menu. Next, we'll change the Look In line to the C drive and select the VIA Graphics Learn folder. Now we'll double-click Test 1 file to open it. At this point, there are many ways to change the letter to better suit our needs. First, let's say the name Michael is incorrect. Instead, the name should be Mike. To change this spelling, move the pointer to the end of the name, then click the mouse button. This places a blinking line referred to as an insertion point directly behind the name. Whatever action we carry out at this time will begin from the insertion point. Go ahead and press the backspace key to delete the incorrect letters from the name. Then type the letters KE and the name is spelled correctly. Another nice feature about Word is its ability to automatically send text to the next line when it is entered. This prevents users from having to press Enter when they are running out of room near the right margin. As you can see, the text in this letter flows from line to line in a very organized way. Text can also be inserted anywhere in the document. When inserting information, all other text moves to the right and the lines are adjusted accordingly. For instance, move the pointer at the end of the word Thanks, then click the mouse button to display the insertion point. Now press the backspace key to delete the letter S, then press the space bar. Make sure that the insert key on the keyboard is turned on, then type U. Notice the text moves to the right and it is properly adjusted within the margins. Unlike the insert mode, entering information in overtype mode will not shift the text to the right. It replaces the letters that are being typed over. To illustrate this, move the insertion point to the beginning of the word would. Now in the status bar, double-click on the button with OVR on it, which turns on the overtype mode. We know the overtype mode has been activated because it is highlighted. From here, anything entered in the document will replace the text from the insertion point. Type the word will, then press the delete key to remove the letter D. As mentioned, none of the text is moved to the right. Instead, it was replaced. To turn off the overtype mode, simply double-click on it again.
More than likely, there will be times when we need to delete or move large sections of text. When this occurs, sections of text can be selected using the mouse or keyboard.
One of the most common ways to select text is by holding down the mouse button and dragging. Place the insertion point in front of the word thank, then hold down the mouse button and drag to the end of the word you. As in this example, when text is selected, it is highlighted. From this point, there are all sorts of ways to manipulate the selected text. For instance, the words thank you can be replaced with the word thanks. Paragraphs or lines of text can also be selected. Although this can be done by dragging the mouse, there are quicker ways to do this. Make sure the insertion point is again in front of the word thanks by pressing the Home key. Triple-click the mouse button to select the entire paragraph. Double-clicking the mouse will select a word at a time. The keyboard can also be used to select text. You may find this easier than using a mouse. Our advice is to use the method that you're most comfortable with. A line of text can be selected by pressing Shift and the down arrow key. A paragraph can be selected by pressing Control Shift and the down arrow key. The undo clear command will undo a previous action that was done in a document. With the second paragraph selected, press the delete key. Although the text has been removed from the document, it can be returned. There are several ways to do this, but the easiest way is by pressing Ctrl+Z for undo clear. Unlike undo clear, the redo clear command will redo a previous action. Simply press Ctrl plus Y and the text is again removed from the screen. We'll press Ctrl plus Z to undo. Cutting, copying, and moving text is the most efficient way to reorganize a document in Word. For instance, we can move a paragraph to a different location in a document, which could be a major time saver. In this illustration, the third paragraph needs to be moved below the first paragraph. To accomplish this, select the third paragraph using whatever method you prefer, then press Ctrl plus X for cut. Although the paragraph appears to be deleted, it is not. It was simply placed on a clipboard that is not visible on screen. Now move the insertion point below the first paragraph, then press Ctrl plus V for paste. This makes the text reappear on screen, moving it below the first paragraph. Moving text can also be done using the drag and drop method. When this method is used, the text is selected, then moved to a different location using the mouse. For instance, make sure the second paragraph is selected, then hold down the mouse button and drag it above the first paragraph. When the mouse is released, the text is moved to another location in the document. Text can also be copied, which is useful when using the same text over and over. Text being copied is not removed from the screen. Instead, it's added to the clipboard. With the paragraph selected, press Ctrl plus C for copy. Now move the insertion point below the second paragraph and press Ctrl plus V for paste. This causes the copied paragraph to be located in two different locations in the document. Copying text can also be done using drag and drop. Select the first paragraph, then hold down the Control key and drag below the third paragraph. Release the mouse button, then the Control key, and the text is copied. We're finished with this chapter, so let's close this document. Select the File menu, then choose Close. Answer yes to the Save Changes prompt.
You may pause the tape now to practice on your computer.
This chapter demonstrated how to delete and enter text, then showed how to insert text.
It demonstrated how to enter text in the overtype mode and several ways to select text. It also showed how to use the undo clear and redo clear commands.
It also shows several different ways to cut, copy, and move text.
Making text stand out is one of the most important parts of word processing, especially if you're creating items such as a handbill or brochure.
An effective way to make this type of information eye-catching is to apply different fonts and sizes to it. Bolding, underlining, or italicizing text is also a good idea.
For this demonstration, we will enhance a handbill that has already been created. To work along with us, you need to open the Test 2 learning file. On the screen is a handbill for golf equipment sale. All the relevant information is on the handbill, but it's not very exciting to look at. In fact, many customers would probably not take the time to read it. One way to get the reader's attention is to change the heading's font styles. Currently, the style is Times New Roman and it's 12 points in size. Select the heading Golf Discount Sale. Then click on the font box and choose Arial. This gives the heading a different look, but it still doesn't stand out too much. So let's increase its size. Select the font size box, then choose 24. This makes the heading stand out better and the reader is probably less likely to overlook it. Bolding the heading is another nice touch we can add to it. Click on the uppercase B in the formatting toolbar to apply this effect to the heading. Now deselect the heading to see how it actually appears on screen. Below the heading are the days and time of the sale. This text is readable, but since its information is somewhat critical, it would be a good idea to bump it up a few font sizes. Select the information, then choose the font size box and select 14. The next section of the handbill is the type of equipment that is on sale. To make this part of the handbill a bit different, select This equipment includes all. Then click on the Underline command, which places a line under the text. It's the U in the formatting toolbar. Now, select clubs, bags, balls, clothing, and many more bargains. Then click on the Italicize command. As you can see, this italicizes the equipment on sale. For better viewing, deselect the text. Moving on down the handbill, we come to a part that offers a free 1-year membership to a country club. Since this is a strong point we want to emphasize, we'll add some color to it. Select the text, then from the toolbar, click on the Font Color down arrow. It's the one with the capital A and choose blue. The text changes to blue, adding emphasis to this statement. The name and address of the company also needs to be more noticeable. Select this text, then choose the font size box and choose 20. Also, go ahead and bold the text, then deselect it.
Proper alignment of text is also important when working with a document because it has to be easy to follow.
There are several ways to align text. It can be centered, justified, or aligned left or right. First, move to the top of the document by pressing Ctrl plus Home, which moves the insertion point in front of the heading. As we can see, the heading is centered on the page. We know this not only by looking at it, but the center button shows this as well. Centering the heading is a good idea for this document, so we won't change its alignment. Below the heading, the days and time of the event are aligned left. This alignment is okay, but let's justify it instead. Justifying is a way of spacing out words or characters to produce an even margin. Select the sentence, then click on the Justify button, which adds extra space to the text. The type of equipment for sale is also aligned left. However, it would probably look better centered on the document. Select the text, then click on the Center button. Text can be aligned to the right just as easily. Select the address for Gulf City, then click on the Align Right button, which moves the text to the right of the document.
A new feature of Word 97 is the animated text command. With this command, we can actually make text come alive by adding special effects to it.
For instance, text can be made to blink, march, shimmer, or sparkle, but keep in mind these effects are not visible in printed documents. With the address still selected on screen, select Font from the Format menu, then click on the Animation tab in the dialog box that pops up on screen. As you can see, there are several animations for text, such as blinking background, Las Vegas lights, marching black ants, and other items. Select Las Vegas lights and a preview of this animation is shown on screen. To apply this animation to the text, click on the OK button. For better viewing of the Las Vegas lights, deselect the text and its showtime. Since we don't feel like placing any wagers under the lights, go ahead and close this file and do not save any changes.
You may pause the tape now.
This chapter demonstrated how to apply font styles to text. It also showed how to use features such as the underline, bold, and italicize commands.
It demonstrated how to apply color to text and how to align it. Then it showed how to make text animated.
Adjusting a document is probably one of the most important tasks we will do in word processing.
With Word 97, we can easily perform tasks such as setting margins or setting line spacing options. We'll reopen the Test 1 file and with it on screen, let's set the margins. Select the File menu, then Page Setup. The top, bottom, and left and right margins of a document can be set to best suit your needs. Currently, the margins are set at 1 inch and 1.25 inches. Go ahead and change the top margins to 0.5 inches and the bottom margins to 0.5 inches. This actually increases the amount of text that can be entered on a page, which is represented in the preview box. The amount of text that can be entered from left to right can be increased or decreased. To decrease it, change the left and right margins to 2 inches. Notice the preview box shows that there is less room to work with in the document from left to right. At this point, click on OK and the changes are applied to the letter on screen.
Word automatically starts a new page when the current page is full. However, you can begin a page at a particular spot using the page break command.
Move the insertion point in front of the last paragraph in the document. Then click on the Insert menu and choose Break. A break dialog box appears on screen with a list of options for setting breaks. Keep Page Break selected, then click on the OK button. This causes a break to occur at the last paragraph in the document. In fact, the last paragraph of the document has moved to page 2. To move the information back to one page, simply press Ctrl+Z to undo the last action performed.
As mentioned earlier, text automatically moves from line to line when it is entered in a document. However, hard returns can be used to manipulate how the text moves.
Move the insertion point after the word information in the last paragraph, then press the Enter key. As you can see, the text moves down a line from the insertion point. To move it back to its previous spot on the page, simply press the backspace key. In Word 97, line spacing determines the amount of vertical space between the lines of text.
By default, Word uses single line spacing. However, this can be changed by setting the line spacing options.
Keep in mind that the line spacing we select will affect all the lines of text in a selected paragraph, or the paragraph that contains the insertion point. Here is a list and explanation of line spacing options. Single line spacing accommodates the largest font in that line, plus a small amount of extra space. 1.5 line spacing is 1 1/2 times that of a single line spacing. Double line spacing is twice that of single line spacing. At least line spacing is minimum line spacing that can accommodate larger font sizes or graphics that would not otherwise fit within the specified spacing. Exactly line spacing makes all lines evenly spaced. Multiple line spacing is increased or decreased by a percentage that is specified. And at line spacing is the amount of line spacing that is selected. Currently, the document on screen has single line spacing. To change this to 1.5 spacing, select the entire document by pressing Ctrl+A. Then select the paragraph command from the Format menu, which brings up a dialog box. Now click on the down arrow in the line spacing box and choose 1.5 lines. Then click on OK to apply the spacing to the letter. Let's change the spacing once more, but this time we'll use double spacing. With the document still selected, select Paragraph from the Format menu, then click on the line spacing box and choose Double. Click on OK and the spacing in the letter increases even more. Now deselect the text.
There may be a time when we want to place the current date and time into a document. Word offers several formats for accomplishing this task.
Move the insertion point to the top of the document using Ctrl plus Home and delete the date in the document. Then select the Insert menu and choose Date and Time. This brings up a list of available formats that can be used, along with the current date and time. Select the second option, which is the current day and date, then click on OK. And as stipulated, the day and date appears at the top of the document. Let's close this document and not save any changes.
You may pause the tape now.
Let's take a moment to review what was covered in this chapter.
It demonstrated how to set margins. It also showed how to insert a page break in a document.
It demonstrated how to use a hard return and how to set line spacing options.
Then it showed how to insert the date and time into a document.
With Word 97, there are many ways to put editing tools to work. For instance, text can be found and replaced, or a document can be checked for spelling or grammatical mistakes.
Finding and replacing text is a simple task in Word 97. This feature is especially useful in a large document. First, let's open the Test 3 file from the VIA Graphics folder. Then we'll learn how to find a word. There are a couple of ways this can be done. Select the Edit menu and move down to the Find command. Notice this feature could have also been activated by pressing Ctrl plus F. A dialog box opens on screen. The word we want to find can be entered into the entry bar, and we'll type phone, then press Enter. Word automatically finds the word phone in the document and highlights it. From here, the word can be replaced with a different word. Click on the Replace tab. Then in the Replace with bar, type telephone and click on the Replace button. This causes the word to be replaced and a dialog box appears on screen, telling us that word has finished searching the document. Click on OK. Let's try this feature once more, but this time we'll start from the Replace tab. In the Find What bar, type Oklahoma and press Enter. Once again, the word is found. At this point, enter Texas in the Replace with bar, then click on Replace. As you can see, the state automatically changes in the document. Once again, we'll choose OK at the Finish searching box. We would continue to find and replace words in this document, but instead click on Close.
As mentioned a couple of minutes ago, a document can easily be checked for spelling and grammatical mistakes.
These are very beneficial tools in Word, but keep in mind the best editor is still the human eye. With the Test 3 file still on screen, we easily see two misspelled words on screen, expressing and conversation. There are a few ways to correct the misspelled words. The first way is to select the Tools menu and choose Spelling and Grammar. This option not only checks the spelling of the document, but it checks the grammar as well. A dialog box opens on screen, showing that expressing is spelled incorrectly. but it offers a suggestion for the proper spelling. In this case, the suggestion is just what we're looking for, so click on Change. Now the next misspelled word is found. We could fix it by clicking on Change, but we want to show you another way to correct misspelled words. This requires going back to the document, so click on the Close button. We're returned to the document where the word can be corrected without ever opening the Tools menu. Right-click on the misspelled word and the proper spelling is shown in the box. Select this word and it automatically changes in the document. Checking for grammatical mistakes is just as easy as spell checking. Select the Tools menu and choose Spelling and Grammar. Once the dialog box appears on screen, Grammar Check shows that there is an extra space between words. Click on Change. Next, Grammar suggests a commonly confused word too. We've used the word correctly, so click on the Ignore button. Now Grammar Check finds that the word "and" was used improperly. Again, click on Change and Word fixes the mistake. Now click on Close.
Included in Word is a Thesaurus, which can come in very handy when trying to use different words that mean the same.
Let's return to the top of the document and select the word Training. Next, we'll select Tools menu, choose Language, then Thesaurus. The Thesaurus can also be opened by pressing Shift plus F7. A thesaurus opens on screen, showing the meaning of the word and a list of synonyms. Choose Course, then click on the Replace button. As you can see, the word has been replaced with the chosen synonym. Let's try another word. Select the word Information in the 4th paragraph. Then press Shift plus F7. Once again, the thesaurus is shown on screen. Here, select Data, then click on Replace, and presto, the word changes in the document. At times, we may need to count the number of words in a document. However, we no longer need to strain our eyes as we count letter after letter. To count the number of words in this letter, select the Tools menu and choose Word Count. And within a blink of an eye, the statistics of the document are shown on screen. The stats show the number of pages, words, characters with no spaces, characters with spaces, paragraphs, and lines. At this point, click on Close. Then close this file and do not save any changes.
This chapter showed how to find and replace text, then how to check the spelling of the document.
It showed how to check for grammatical mistakes and how to use the thesaurus. Then it showed how to use word count.
When you create a file, it's very important to save it.
There are several ways we can do this. We can save a file to a disk or our computer's hard drive.
When saving a file, it's beneficial to give it a name we'll remember. Otherwise, we may have a large list of files and not know which one is which.
Let's reopen the Test1 file, which has already been saved and given a file name, Test1. However, this brings us to an important point. When a file has already been saved, we can save it again with another name using the Save As command. Select the File menu and choose Save As. This brings up a dialog box with a list of options for saving the document. The Save In bar lets us choose which folder or drive to save the file in. Moving on down, the File Name bar is where the name of the file is entered. With Test1 highlighted, type Practice. Below this is the Save As type bar, which contains a list of ways to save the document. For instance, Word can save a document as text only or MS-DOS text. This feature can be used if we want to open the document in other word processing applications. For our purposes, make sure Word document is selected, then click on the Save button. And after a couple of moments, the file is saved to the VIA Graphics folder. Also notice that the file name has changed to Practice in the title bar.
If we don't want to rename a document, we can still save any changes made to it using the Save command.
Let's make a change to this document. Select the name Mike and change it to Jack. At this point, in order to keep the changes made to the name, the document must be saved. The easiest way to do this is by pressing Ctrl+S. And in just seconds, the document is saved. After we have finally completed a document, we'll probably want to print it, which is an easy process.
Just make sure the printer is properly hooked up and we're ready to go.
Before printing a file, it's a good idea to get a preview of how it looks on paper. This is done by using the Print Preview command. Select the File menu and choose Print Preview. As we can see, this command reduces the entire document to the screen size, giving us the perfect view of how it will look on paper. Although the words are small, a magnifier can be used to zoom in on them. With the magnifier command, we can move to any area of the document and enlarge it for better viewing. Move to the Address section, then click the mouse button, which enlarges this section of the document. To return it to Print Preview size, click the mouse button once more. From this point, the document can be printed. Click on the Print command and the document is sent to the printer.
As we can see, printing a document is easy enough. However, there are several more ways to print. For instance, we can specify the number of copies to print or the range of pages to print.
Select the File menu and choose Print. This opens up a dialog box with a list of print options. The name of the printer is displayed at the top of the dialog box, along with its status, type, and the location. Below this information is the page range. Here the page numbers or ranges can be specified. Since we're only printing one page, keep all selected. Beside the page range area is the copies area. This is where the number of copies to be printed can be specified. Enter a 2 in this entry bar. Now click on OK and the document is sent to the printer, where 2 pages are printed. At this point, close the document.
This chapter demonstrated how to save a document with a different name. It also showed how to save a document with the same name.
It demonstrated how to use the Print Preview command and how to print a document using various options. To delete the learning files from the hard drive, first close Word 97 and return to the Windows 95 desktop. Then right-click My Computer and open the Explorer. Next, highlight the VIA Graphics Learning folder. Then press and hold the Shift key and drag the folder to the recycle bin. Next, release the mouse, then the Shift key, and our files are deleted. Finally, close the Explorer and we'll return to the Windows 95 desktop. That concludes this video tutorial learning Word 97 Introduction.
We've covered a lot of information in this tutorial. If you feel the need to review, simply rewind the tape and watch that section again until you're comfortable with the material.
Please feel free to contact us about our video tutorials. Our worldwide website address is http://www.viagraphics.com. Send your questions or comments on this tutorial via email to admin@viagraphics.com. For sales questions or to place an order, email sales@viagraphics.com. We at ViaGraphics would like to thank you for choosing our company for your computer training needs.
Remember, if you plan to learn Word 97 or any other computer software, there's no better way than through video training with ViaGraphics.